Hey guys, welcome to Taipei, Taiwan. Today we are exploring the Zhongzheng District, which is sort of the downtown area of Taipei that's got all the cool monuments and stuff. Short history on Taiwan, bring you up to speed. It was China for a very long time, and then in the late 1800s it became a territory of Japan when they invaded and colonized it. And then at the end of World War II, it was handed back over to China, and then there was a civil war from 1945, 1949. It split off and became the Republic of China that we know today, called Taiwan. And because of that, all the memorials here sort of center around the characters related to the Republic of China, which is different than the People's Republic of China, which is mainland China as we know. So let's go check it out.
This is such a pretty train station, or train stop, I guess.
Probably the best place to explore when you're in the Zhongzheng District is the Liberty Square. This is where they achieved democracy. But besides that, it's also known as the Memorial Plaza for Chiang Kai-shek, who was the president and leader of the military during the Civil War. So when he died in 1975, they built this gigantic complex for him in his honor. It was finished in 1980. It's got the humongous and famous Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall. It's got the National Theater over there, the National Concert Hall over there, and the Liberty Arches over there.
This is the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall, and it's huge. Like, I don't think the camera really gives it justice, but it's 250 feet tall. There's an entire library and a museum in the bottom. I really like this sculpture in the front. I love these cloud designs, and then that's the sun from their flag.
I wonder what the sun symbolizes.
I actually just looked it up, and it has 12 points to represent China being split into two 12-hour shifts in a day, I guess. But basically, it has to do with unceasing progress. I think that's what it said. All right, let's check out the rest of the complex.
Yeah, let's go. Do you know the whole neighborhood was named after that guy?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, Chiang Kai-shek's name at birth was Zhongzheng.
Oh, well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Shows you how important it is here.
Yeah.
So these super cool buildings on either side of me are the National Concert Hall and the National Theater, and there they have performing arts events.
So this is called Liberty Arches because in 1990, this is where democracy in Taiwan was achieved. From 1950 until 1990, there was one-party military rule, and in the 90s, people decided they should have democracy, so they came here, protested, and there was a peaceful transition to democracy that we have today.
All that walking around made me really hungry.
I know. Let's go get lunch.
Yeah. This place smells really good.
Yeah, like everywhere else in Taiwan. Have one of these.
Use Google Translate to see what they offer. We just made it to a restaurant that I believe is called Happy Xiaozong Beef Noodles. It's all in Chinese, so we tried to translate that. Not positive. And it looks really hole in the wall. And we tried to order both a beef soup dumpling and a beef noodle soup. So hopefully it's delicious. Hole in the walls tend to be. First up is Taiwanese beef noodle soup, which looks delicious. And this guy was cooking it to perfection. He was stirring up the noodles and he had these timers on the wall just to make sure it was perfect. And then we also got this dumpling soup, which I'm pretty sure they make fresh here, and you can buy them to take home and cook as well. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This one definitely emphasizes the beef flavor. They look hand pulled. You can see and the texture, there's little variations. I haven't quite mastered metal chopsticks yet.
It's because this place is a dumpling restaurant. Look at the size of those. Most of the time when you get them, they're not that big. I'd say that's more a leek dumpling than a pork dumpling.
Yeah, the
But
pork's subtle.
I love leek stuff, so it's really delicious. Anyway, let's get on with our meal.
Yeah, I'm so hungry. Let's head on to the next spot.
谢谢，谢谢，谢谢。
Oh, he's so nice. The place is actually super good, and it's literally down the street from the Botanic Garden, which is right there, and the restaurant is that red sign right there. Definitely recommend him. The owner was so sweet. He was so happy to have us there. And the food was so light, which was really nice. A lot of them kind of like, I don't know, they're too salty. That one was perfect.
Yeah.
Definitely
and those
recommend it.
Leek dumplings, some of the most delicious food we've had in all of Taiwan. And I know
yeah.
I say that like again and again, but those were really, really
They were
delicious.
really
Oh my
good.
God. This is the Taipei Botanical Gardens. It's free to enter, and it's open every day of the week.
Yeah, looks like 8:30 to 5 p.m.
It's a nice city park, basically.
I'm so excited to see it.
Yeah, I like plants a lot.
Wow, it's like a forest in here. Everything's just kind of like spilling over. Those purple flowers.
I know. This is what I thought Da'an Forest Park was going to be like.
I liked Da'an Forest Park, but it was more like a flower park. Well, this is
This
more
feels
like
like
a
a proper
forest.
forest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we're in the jungle.
I know.
Hey, Brandi, do you know there's 2,000 species of plants in this garden?
Wow.
I know.
And it's
cool.
huge too,
It
right?
is huge, yeah. It's 20 acres or 6 hectares in metric. I'm trying.
The Botanic Garden is gorgeous, but we have a ton more to see today, and it's starting to move on into the evening, so we're gonna try to power through everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
2 more things to do, and
Yep.
then the night market.
That's gonna be fun.
Worth a quick look if you're into this sort of thing is the presidential office. This is like the Taiwanese White House. It's where
Yeah.
the president of Taiwan comes to work every day. You can't go inside, I don't think, but there's actually like 2 squares to either side of this. So it's like a symmetrical building with like a, plazas inside.
Neat.
Right across the street from the presidential palace are 2 famous memorials for some dark spots in Taiwan's history. This one is for the White Terror, which was a period of time right after the Civil War where the Republic of China rounded up their communist opponents and executed them. And they executed like 4,000 people at least, and maybe like another 15,000 people got killed extrajudicially. So it's like pretty scary time in history, but
Yeah, so here's the
there's a
memorial
monument
for those
it.
people.
Yeah. Now we're in the 228 Peace Park, and behind me is the 228 Memorial. They both commemorate an event called the 228 Massacre, which, as I understand it, and I'm no expert on this, was a watershed moment in history where the Taiwanese started to have their own national identity and think of themselves as something separate from the Chinese or Japanese. So the event, as it goes, at the end of World War II, Taiwan was handed back from Japan to China, and in that time period there was pretty much a breakdown of society, lots of social upheaval and unrest, which led to an uprising against the new Chinese government. China responded by sending in thousands of troops, which then killed thousands of people. It's a grim period of time, but if you're interested in learning about the history, this park's here, and there's also a whole museum on the subject.
Looks closed.
It does look closed.
Maybe we got here a little late.
Yeah, it's like 5 right now.
Yeah.
They've got a Chinese temple here.
Wow, it's so pretty with the lanterns.
It is. I love all the lanterns.
Yeah, look at that. The park is a cool stop to make. I think it's a worthwhile visit, but it's almost sundown. We have one more thing we're gonna try to make. We're gonna catch the train over to, and then we're gonna go eat. What was this train stop called again?
This train stop?
Yeah, what was it called?
ZHONGZHENG.
Cool, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Short train ride. We made it to the 1914 Huashan Creative Park.
And if you couldn't guess, it's from 1914. It's a converted sake factory that's now a creative arts and culinary district. So there's lots of restaurants and cafes and little art places to go check out.
It looks like it's pedestrian only, which I love.
I really like the feel of this place. It's really like hip feeling, you know, and they didn't totally redo the building, so some of the old soul and spirit of the sake factory is still here. Like there's spalling stuff all over the place, falling apart. Got that dilapidated look, but then on the inside it's all brand new with cool shops and stores and stuff.
And children's parks and shows, and there's all sorts of stuff out here.
I think we got here a little bit late today,
It's still cool to see.
so a lot of stuff is closing, but
So let's go to the night market.
yeah, let's go.
Let's go. These rolls must be really good for this line to be like this.
Yeah. Michelin Bib Gourmand bread rolls. Unnamed clay oven is the name of the restaurant. We have 3 different kinds: scallion, minced pork, and with sugar. That's really good.
Which one's that?
Minced pork. Sort of tastes like one of those dumplings. Very sesame because all the sesame on top is toasted.
I'm gonna start with the sugary one. I like that a lot. I wasn't expecting like sesame. I thought it was gonna be like chewier bread. When we were watching them cooking it, they were like frying it on top of the oven and then baking it. That's probably why it's so crunchy.
Scallion. I am a sucker for scallion things.
Ooh, that looks good.
It's like a yeasty bread roll with lots of scallions inside. In Taiwan, these pork buns are really popular. They take ground pork, scallions, put them inside of a piece of dough, and then cook them inside of a clay oven so that you get this like stuffed, gigantic dumpling essentially.
What flavor did you get?
Pork and scallion.
Ooh.
It's really good though. It's like just a blast of umami. There's so much juice in this. It's like a small little helping of soup almost. And instead of chopping the scallions into little bits, they gave you big hearty pieces of them, so the onion flavor really comes through.
This one's also so peppery. Okay, these are fried sweet potato balls. They make some sort of dough and they squish them into these little balls and then they put them in hot oil. And then they do this thing where they press them. And I think that's what makes them so airy on the middle, because when you bite into them, they're totally hollow. So I think that's what they're doing when they're pressing them like that, but I'm not totally sure.
And what about that powder she put on them?
It's kind of sour.
It's probably plum.
That makes sense because it's sweet. Like I thought it was powdered sugar at first, but then it's like a little tart. I love the sweet potato balls though. They're like little sweet potato donuts. They're crunchy and chewy too. I could eat a million of these.
That's why we got the big one. Look at that little sphere of sweet potato goodness. Boy, are these delicious. That powder adds to it too. The flaky scallion pancake with bacon omelet sounds pretty good.
It does sound really good.
Wow, it was a pleasure watching her work. She was lightning fast. So they make a wheat flour pancake at these types of places and add scallions to it. And then they throw it onto a hot griddle with lots of oil to make it sort of fry up into a pancake type thing. Only it's got lots of layers. And then they take these knives that they're using on the bench and they chop it up to give it lots of surface area and flakiness. And they throw a scrambled egg into it, cook it onto it so it sticks. Add bacon, in this case streaky American style bacon, which is like fantastic. And it was like a thick piece. Chop it all up and then roll it into like a little burrito. Oh yeah, look at those layers. I used to make these when I was in college and I just could never get them to come out quite like this. Ooh, it is hot though. That is so good. It's crispy on the outside and chewy, and it was such a thick pancake that it's like creamy almost on the inside because it's not quite cooked all the way through. And egg and bacon. Oh, a little bit of soy sauce in there.
Do you think it'd make a good breakfast?
So I was gonna say, why isn't this a breakfast food in America yet? Did you just waste the bacon? Did you even get any bacon? Randy. Yeah, there's enough cats around.
I'm so sad about that bacon, I'm not gonna lie.
That was a hefty piece of bacon.
Rip.
Yeah.
We decided to head on out because we do not want to miss our bus, but we hope you enjoyed the Zhongzheng neighborhood.
Yep. And if you liked our video, watch another one. It really helps us out.
Yep, we have a lot more on Taipei. See you later.